waste that took my daughter's life. That name will never come out of my mouth. That life will cease to exist to me, and just like trash, it will be forgotten.
Well, the teenager who killed 4 students and wounded several others at Oxford High School north of Detroit will spend the rest of his life in prison with no chance of parole. All day, those who experienced that tragedy and the family members of the victims were able to say their final words to Ethan Crumbley, hoping, they say, to gain some sense of closure. Life sentences for teenagers are very rare in Michigan, since violent acts by minors have been ruled by the Supreme Court to be considered differently than the crimes of adults. But in this case, a judge ruled life in prison to be the proper fit for the admitted Oxford High School shooter. News Channel 3's Allie Jenner-John is joining us in studio with a look at that sentencing hearing today. This case has been unusual from the start, Allie.
Yeah, Andy, and it was not easy to watch. Parents, siblings, and friends of the victims of the Oxford school shooting stood before the judge today in tears and anger. They gave us many different perspectives of that tragic day, November 30th, 2021. Their pain ultimately resonating with the judge, sentencing Ethan Crumbley to spend the rest of his life behind bars with no possibility of ever being released. The fate of a school shooter.
I'm going to ask you to lock this up for the rest of his pathetic life.
In the hands of an Oakland County judge today.
So while you sit there rotting and suffering for the rest of your life, you'll learn to find joy, happiness, and normalcy.
Impact statement after impact statement. Parents, friends, and victims urging the judge to sentence the admitted Oxford High School shooter to the rest of his life in prison.
The manner in which my son Justin was so cold-heartedly, methodically executed shows clearly the pure evil and malice of the shooter. For this act alone, Your Honor, he deserves life without parole.
On November 30th, 2021, this teen walked into Oxford High School just before 1 p.m. and opened fire, killing 4 students. Hannah St. Juliana, Tate Muir, Madison Baldwin, and Justin Schilling.
The thing that stands out to me was what my wife said. She put her head in her hands and it said, "Not my baby boy."
6 other students and a teacher were also injured.
He told me that what the officers told him as they were leaving room 256, they said not to look down if he did not want to be traumatized, as there was a body outside the door.
And today they tried to share in just minutes the more than 2 years of grieving they've endured.
I am a really bad person. I have done terrible things that no one should ever do.
And bring the legacy of their loved ones to light.
I will not allow her name to be followed by the phrase Oxford shooting victim. She will be remembered by her name, a name that is loved unconditionally, one that has no hidden remark. The strong name we gave her, Madison.
And Crumbley's head was down through every statement today. One of the survivors even urging him repeatedly to look at her. He did give a statement to the court before his sentencing too, and actually asked the judge to honor the sentence each person asked for. Again, he's been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Live in studio, Allie Jenner-John, News Channel